And we are live. Welcome to Pistons Jack Fan Reacts. Just before we get into this, if you want to come up and talk about the game, please shoot me a DM. We'll get you up here. I've got my man Austin here to open us up, but after Austin, it's a free space. So DM me and we'll get you up here because that was a hell of a game. And Austin, my man, I just want to shout this out. You DM me early in the day, and what happens, as per usual, the Pistons get a win. You're the good luck charm. I think we're 3 out of 4 now when you do that. So
And the
absolute
one
pleasure to have
I
you.
did, the one was only like an hour before the game, so I got to just keep doing it early in the day. That's the whole thing.
Man, literally, you are the good luck charm. So talk us through the game, man.
Yeah, I mean, before I start on anything, I just want to say like congrats to you, man. Like all that stuff today with the Pistons, that's so dope. Like you've been working hard, so it's good that it's being recognized, and I'm jealous as hell of that jersey. That's pretty sick.
I appreciate that so much, man. Yeah, I thank you so much. There's so many people that have reached out to me. I really appreciate that so much. I can't wait to get over there and meet so many people. It's going to be incredible. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man. So I mean, you got that, and then you got a great win today. I mean, gosh, Cade is just him. Like it's been so much fun to just kind of watch him just continue to just elevate his game. And you just kind of see like today, where they have 7 people in double figures, like their entire, starting lineup was, which is a really good thing to see. I mean, they got contributions from their bench, which is just great. Like, I don't know, like as bad as the loss to the Jazz was, this is just as good as a win. Like it's
Exactly.
and I think that's what's so like frustrating about this team, because like I think I had one word coming into this, and it was just consistency. Like if this team can just play, it doesn't even have to be exactly like this every game, but like some form of this, like they could be so good. And like that's why games like the Jazz game are so frustrating, just because like, man, you see the potential, it's there. Now they just got to stay consistent with it.
Literally. No, I think it's me and Cody spoke about it after the Jazz game. We've just got to the point where you don't get too high after a win and too low after a loss, because we were talking about it. Like they will come out and they'll beat Phoenix or one of the Lakers. And the next game available, they come out and play one of the best games I've seen. That first quarter, high scoring quarter of the season, energy was through the roof. And you're so right. Like consistency is this team's biggest issue. And I think that's just where they are at in their rebuild. And I'm with you. If they can fix that, I guess that's when they go from a fun rebuilding play-in type team to a legit like playoff type team. And man, that was so fun, and everyone scored like you said.
Yeah.
But let's keep talking about Cade, because 28 points, 13 assists. We were quickly chatting before we jumped on here, like the dagger over KD, 2 poster dunks. I think he had a step back 3 over KD as well. Like, bro, vote this man an all-star, guys. Seriously. Vote.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven it. Like, I think coming into this year this was the kind of jump that I was expecting to see from him. Is just like, I don't know. When you draft somebody number 1, you're like, okay, you expect him to come in and just dominate immediately. And I think that that's unfair, especially like with where the NBA is at today. Like, you're not going to have those LeBron James types, though those don't come around a ton, but you get a player like Cade who comes in. I mean, last year, I feel like you really lose a developmental year in last year. The year before that, he was hurt. I mean, he's showing exactly the type of player that he is and why he was drafted number 1. And it's so awesome to say and like be in the moment of like, okay, I can see the future of this team with him. And like, it's been a while since I feel like Pistons fans have had something like that. Like when you think back, like, I mean, who's like the big star that they really developed? Like Andre Drummond. I mean, he was good,
it would be him, but it's different. It's so different.
Level. And so I think like that's the thing, is like seeing someone on this type of trajectory of like, he's not just going to be like a star. Like he's going to be a superstar in the league, and he's going to dominate games. He's going to, I mean, for a while there, I was like I said, I think the stream I was using was going in and out. So like, I didn't realize that KD had I think at the time it was like, oh yeah, Katie's got a light 38 points or something. I was like, whoa, like I don't know, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but like there were times where again, Cade just looked like the best player on the floor with players like Katie and Bradley Beal out there. So yeah, it's great to see the jump, and I think he's only going to get better. Like, I think a lot of the critique this year is the turnovers and like the fourth quarter scoring, and he showed today, like, yeah, I can do that. So as soon as he becomes consistent with those things, he's just going to take it to another level, and it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, have you been from where you were at the end of last season, just with Cade specifically, not this team's future trajectory, even though Cade ties into that, like just him as a player and how good you think he can be? Like,
Yeah.
I think he can go to a level I didn't think he had after what we'd seen in his first two and a half seasons.
Yeah.
And I wasn't low on him. It's just like what I'm saying. I'm like, wow, he literally could be like a true 1A, 1B type guy on a top 4 team in the East. Like, I really, really believe that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, going back to last year, like I remember saying, like I was talking to one of my friends, I was like, he's about to take that like Jason Tatum leap of like getting into like MVP conversations. And maybe that was a little bit bold of last year, but I mean, I think that he's even going to exceed that. Cause I mean, I feel like it took Jason Tatum a couple years to really like figure it out, where like, I mean, Cade technically this is his third year playing. I mean, he missed his whole second year. So like he's going to take that next step. Like I think he's going to be very, like, obviously, like I said, I think he's going to be a superstar. Like, I don't think after the season ended last year, I think that there was like a lot of like this team around him is making him look worse than he is. And that was kind of affecting it a little bit, but it was like, it was so easy because, everybody on Twitter was just like, hey, it's so easy with him. Just put shooters around him and he's going to dominate. And I mean, Malik Beasley, again, probably the greatest signing in Pistons history. Just to put alongside Cade, I was just on Twitter today and people are just talking about it. Like, he needs that extension. And I think earlier in the year, we were like, maybe Malik Beasley is going to be, one of those trade assets. But I think you got to keep him around. Like, he's shooting too well. Cade obviously loves playing with him. Like, you got to keep him.
Absolutely. Like, I had Kyle Metz on. We recorded a show just about some potential trades during the week. And I asked him, I said, would you trade Malik Beasley? And he was like, everything from an asset standpoint says you trade him. But he's like, you just don't, because of the value he brings off the court. And like you said, his relationship with Cade, his relationship with all the young guys, his overall vibes, not to mention he's just on some, like, he must be averaging like 20 points a game. Like, he's at 18 tonight, 5 threes again, like key threes as well. Like that one he hit in the corner when it was a 3-point game, that was massive. That's when I was like, okay, I think they've got this now. That was just a huge thing.
16 a game with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. But
wow,
I mean,
man, that feels low.
Yeah, it does. But again, like I think last time I said, like, this team really goes when he goes, and he'll have those down days where he's shooting, sometimes he'll go like 2 for 10 but then he'll come back and have teams like this. So like, I'm not worried about him. I'm not trying to be like, he needs to be more consistent, because he is still fairly consistent. It's usually 1 out of like 5 games he'll have a bad one, which is fair.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, I think just his fit with the team, his fit next to Cade, just kind of being another grown-up voice for the young guys. Like, it's just like, kind of like you said earlier, not trying to get too high after wins, but like, this is just such a good win that it felt like everyone contributed in some kind of way. Like, it's hard not to be like, I don't know. Like, I feel pretty good about this one. And, we could be here after they play the Lakers and they could lose and it could be horrible. But after this one, like it's, I don't know. Is this their 12th win of the season?
Yeah, they're now 12-17, I believe. I'm sure someone in the chat will help us out, but I think they're 12-17.
When did they get to 12 last year? Like, I know that last year
they're meant to get to 14 after a season. We're not even in the new year.
12 is such an anomaly. Like, I don't know. Like last year, throw it out, obviously, but like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
just to see the growth that the team has had since last year. I mean, obviously a new culture, new coach, like, but even just the players that are still here and seeing the jump that they take. I mean, Jaden Ivey coming back tonight, like that, he played so well. And even Jalen Duren played a very, very solid game. Like, and this is where, again, that word consistency comes back. Like, if they can just continue to do what they did tonight, even in the realm of like maybe not score, like going 28-8 or 11-17, like just keeping close to those numbers, this is what you're going to have. So it's
crazy, man. And I just want to quickly answer Sean's question here, like, because it is frustrating. But I think when they signed Bees, like, they didn't want to commit any long-term money to anyone. Like, I think Trajan was at a point where he's like just got to the team, he's just hired a coach, he's just done the draft, just trying to manage free agency. Like, it's kind of like in hindsight, it would have been good, and it's probably going to cost us a lot, but it's still not at least he's playing at this level to the point where we're having this conversation. But yeah, for those that aren't aware, I think the Pistons can't actually extend Malik until the offseason. That's just, Kyle has mentioned that. That's just how these 1-year deals work. But just wanted to answer that. But I think what I've really enjoyed as well, Austin, is just like they will have these letdown games like the Jazz, and it sucks. Like watching that, you're just like they were nearly down. They were down 30 in the first quarter, and you're just like, what? And then our PTSD kicks in. I'm like, oh no, this team's it's the same old Pistons. Like, even if we don't really believe it, it's how you feel in the moment. But what's been so good is this season, like, it feels like more often than not they bounce back immediately. And they might not get the win, but the energy in the first quarter from the jump is always there after those letdown games. And of course, you don't want those letdown games or whatever, but that's, for me, like, that's a sign of real growth and great and good coaching, good culture, all that. To see them come to Phoenix and win like this. Like, I know it was kind of close at points, but did they lead the entire game, like wire to wire?
I don't remember who scored the first basket, but other than that, I don't remember Phoenix leading.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll find the worm. The Phoenix.
I feel like Beasley or Beal scored the first point, but then after that,
right.
So it just another one of those. I mean, again, it was kind of like that Boston game that they were getting blown out in the first half, came back and then lost, but then went to New York and beat the Knicks, and it was kind of the same thing. Like, first half or even first quarter, they were getting turnovers, they were out in transition, they looked really good. It kind of got close, like New York would get it close, and then they would just kind of get it back out to that 9-11 point lead. So, like, it's like you said, like, I think that growth is where we're going to see more. Like, we'll see it a lot more towards the end of the season, where they'll start to really pick it up in every game. Like, you'll kind of have that. So
yeah, and I think that's the exciting thing, like, about the second half of the year and post All-Star break, is like we're so conditioned to this team tanking and trying to get worse draft lottery odds, and maybe they will to keep that pick. But I think at the same time, there's like equally, if not way more of a chance they actually, like you mentioned, that consistency becomes even more of a thing, and they actually close the season on like an extreme like high, and we're all going into next season like playoffs or bust is like the vibe of what we expect. So
that'd be great. that'd be very great. I mean, just considering just what they've been for the last couple of years, man. Like, I don't know. I think when they drafted Cade, and then just kind of where they were at the next couple of years, like when they got Ivey and Duren and Asar, you're like, man, like, you kind of see the vision, but they're still so young. It's hard to, like, I think that Cody said it on your last stream, like, you kind of just have to wait, like, with the team, like, you kind of just have to wait. And he was right. Like, that's not something Pistons fans want to hear. Like, I've been waiting for so long, I'm sick of waiting. But, like, I think, with this year into next year, like, that's where that waiting is going to start to pay off, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. And White Guy Next Door, he's got us covered. We got our 12th win last year on March 13th.
There
you go.
Oh, wow.
It's so crazy. It's like, this team is so much better than last year. It's like, I think it'll take us a long time to recover from last year, but at the same time, like, they are so much better.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, Austin, Jaden Ivey returned tonight. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 offensive rebounds, a steal, 50% from the field. Like, he needed this game. He'd really struggled for a few weeks before going out with the knee soreness, which probably was why he was struggling. Just
Yeah.
like, he's talking about energy from the jump. He
Yeah.
was everywhere.
He seems excited to be back out there, which is good. Like, that's what you want to see from him. Like, I think he's one of those players that confidence is such a big part of his game. Like, that when he has those rough games, then he starts to force it a little bit more. And that's, hopefully the knee injury was something that was, I mean, you don't want to say bothering him, but like one of the reasons he had those couple down games there, like, because like he has to be confident in his own play so that he's not forcing those shots and forcing bad passes. And today he came out just on fire. And I mean, he really helped drive that lead early on. And I mean, he went out, they do their substitutions, how they do. He went out and then came back in for Cade. And even when he came back in, he still had the same energy. Yeah, I can't say enough about him just in kind of the rebound that he had. Because, yeah, he was playing kind of down and, everybody was starting to ask questions about him. And, this is a pretty good game to be like, yeah, like I'm still him. Like I can still come out here and do this. So just going to keep coming back to the word. Just got to stay consistent with it now. So.
Well, absolutely. And the thing I loved, as Theo says here, Jay was efficient, only turned the ball over once. But I felt like his shot distribution was way better. 6 threes tonight, makes 4, 14 field goal attempts, so 8 of them inside the arc. I felt like before he went out, he was just settling for threes way too much. And I think that was probably due to the knee soreness. And I believe my guy, Downtown Deuce, who actually knows Jaden personally, said he's had a sore toe the whole year as well. He tweeted that out during the game. So I think he's been dealing with some like lower leg injuries that would obviously hamper you like getting into the paint.
Yeah, so especially with how he plays. I mean, he's so explosive. Like
exactly. And I think, like you said, you saw that return tonight, the explosiveness, like even just grabbing those boards, like in transition. He was just looked so much better, like a lot like that Jaden Ivey we saw in the preseason and first 15 games.
Yeah. And early on, it really seemed like they were he was the one starting the plays, like with the ball. Cade seemed like he was off ball a little bit more today than usual, which I think is a really good idea. I think that's kind of what they need to do going forward. Because, like, again, you get Cade trying to do everything early on in a game. I think that's kind of where his, I don't want to say collapse, but decline in the fourth quarter comes from. I think he just gets so exhausted in those first 3 quarters trying to just do everything that, he's done by the end of the game. And so, yeah, I think that Jaden Ivey had a huge impact on the game. And I mean, obviously his offensive rebounding was crazy. I mean, for a guard to get 4 offensive rebounds, that's a pretty good game. So
crazy,
yeah. Would have been cool to see him get triple-double today. That would have been fun. You got 2 guards who can do that at any time. I did think it was weird. I think at one point Cade had 0 rebounds, like halfway through the 3rd quarter or something. It was like, dang, that's kind of weird. You don't really see that. Yeah, but yeah, just a good all-around game. And like one thing that I was looking at was like, I feel like sometimes people try to be like, oh well, the Suns just had a bad shooting night, but they didn't. They shot better, like a better field goal percentage and just under from 3-point. Like it was a pretty even game. And I mean, I know they didn't have Devin Booker or whatever. They still had Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Like you can't try to diminish this win by saying like one thing happened and this is why they like. That's a good
team. It's on
the
road as well.
Yeah, like, and it was packed there tonight. Like it's a Saturday night. Like you got a pretty, into it crowd. So just that's a good win. That's a good win for a young team that was coming off a pretty bad loss. So just good all around. I mean, everyone played really well. Paul Reed, I can't say enough about Paul Reed, man. Like he had a couple steals tonight, a block, I think. Like, not going to be getting a ton of minutes like once Stu comes back, but that's, he's been solid in this time that you need him to be. So.
No, great shout. And I know my man Alan's in here, my fellow Aussie who loves Paul Reed. So he's going to love that shout out. I want to talk about Jalen Duren. I thought his energy in that first quarter, him and Jaden Ivey, their energy running the floor, like just tenacity, I thought was amazing. And I think Duran finished with 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. But like, I'm sure, I probably missed it, probably had some defensive lapses, but I just think like 7 or 7 from the field. I feel like they were all dunks. Like, you just felt his physicality tonight, and just want to shout him out because he was huge, especially in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think rightfully so, Jalen Duren gets kind of a lot of crap from the community, especially when he plays like stretch fives. I think that's really where his weakness is shown. But when he plays like a traditional center, like Nurkic, like he usually has a pretty solid game. And yeah, I mean, he was kind of everywhere tonight, catching lobs. Like it seemed like that was there a lot tonight, which is always good. I mean, he was challenging shots at the rim, which is really, I feel like for him on the defensive end right now is like what you really want to ask from him. Like, don't give up easy layups. Like, at least just try to be there. Just get in the way. You're a big dude. Like, get your arms up. So, yeah, good game from him. And that was kind of what I mentioned, like the consistency from him, even if it's not what he had a 17 and 11 tonight, like stay in that range. That's where you're going to make your money at. He had one instance where he started bringing the ball up and I was like, oh boy, here we go. But he handed it off. So, maybe they're trying to get him out of that. Like, cause he is, the thing is he is a good passer. Like he does read, like plays very well, but sometimes it's a bad pass. Like he's trying to make the right play, but it just doesn't work out. But didn't see a ton of that tonight. And yeah, his energy was there on both ends. Like, yeah, it's, again, I'm just going to keep saying it. Consistency. That's the word.
Well, exactly. Like when you see games like tonight, sure, there is some parts of the roster that need to be fixed. And, a lot of people might say change the starting lineup. I've certainly thought about that, putting Malik Beasley in, but THJ tonight was awesome. Another guy in that first quarter who hit 3 threes just to really get the team off to a good run. But like you said, if they're consistent, they can beat anyone on any night, like truly. Like, so and they've been much more consistent this year than they have in prior seasons, obviously with a better roster. So, it's really exciting. And like, just to have a win like this in Phoenix, these are the best games to jump on and talk about.
Yes,
because you don't expect it. You really don't. So, like, you hope, but to see them come out the way they did was awesome. I feel like I want to give a quick shout out to Simone Fontecchio as well.
Yeah.
I thought bunch of only 2 threes. I thought he hit more, but 10 points. I think at one stage he hadn't missed a shot. Solid game from him.
Yeah, and I didn't know he was the only Italian in the NBA. That's a pretty cool thing to know. I didn't know that, but I think he's been playing better of late. I don't know if he was dealing. I mean, he was coming off an injury, right? He had surgery in the offseason, I think.
Foot surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. So I think early on he was playing pretty rough, and he's had some rough games, but I think he'll continue to kind of get back to where he was last year. He's adjusting to a new role. I think he was a starter in Utah when he came to the Pistons last year. He was a starter. So trying to switch that over, adjust from foot surgery, which is really hard, especially in the NBA. Like I like him. I think he could be a very solid role player for this team. That's a very good shout out. I like that one. Also shout out Ron. Dude brings me in literally every single night. It does not matter.
He's insane.
I thought he got there was a time it would have been a second jump ball, but the Pistons got a timeout. And I thought he was about to start yelling at the ref because they didn't call a foul. He played that, put his arm around. Like, all right, calm down, man. Like,
I really believe his energy. I love that you shouted him out. Like, I don't want to say this is why I've always thought he should be a part of the rotation, but after seeing him now for this amount of games, like, his energy is vital. I feel like it is the way he comes in. Like, he had that steal. I think he sprinted the whole court. And did he steal it from KD?
I think it was
Might have been Beal. Royce O'Neal on the baseline, like almost stepped out of bounds and took it the full length of the court, finished in transition. Like, his footwork on those drives and his ability to finish, like moving at a crazy fast pace is actually like pretty special. Like, I don't know, like Cade often misses those. Ivey certainly has his struggles. Asar can probably finish them, but his finishing has been a little bit iffy. Like, Ron, I just when he's in transition, I'm like he's making it.
The other good thing about that steal, and if I'm remembering it correctly, like Royce O'Neal had the ball in his left hand as he was dribbling, and then like crossed back over, and as soon as it came back over to the right, that was when he grabbed it. Like, just like great hand-eye coordination of like knowing where to be, and then taking the ball. I mean, he still has his rookie moments. I think there was a time that second half where he tried to drive it on like 3 people. It was just him on a fast break by himself, and it's like you'll have those. I mean, he's a rookie. What are you gonna do? Like, but yeah, his hustle and energy is just it's contagious when he comes out there and he really just starts. I think he is Detroit basketball. Like that's, he's hustle, he's grinded out, he's defense. So it's, I think that's a good pick. That's a good pick. And my league on 2K, he's like a 95 because he got that.
Oh, really?
His potential's great.
No, I think it was, a lot to play out. Like, I love the pick at the time. Admittedly, like, compared to prior years, I didn't actually do a whole lot of draft study just because of the type of class it was. But in terms of just fitting a culture and a team in a city, like, I feel like Detroit is the perfect sports town and sports fans base to appreciate someone like Ron. Like, it feels like a perfect match. So I'm enjoying every moment with him, even the frustrating ones. Like, it's just like, he just makes me laugh sometimes. Just the way he moves around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, Austin. I do have someone else now who's going to join after, but we've still got another 4 or 5 minutes here. Is there anything else? Any other players you want to talk about? Any storylines, that kind of thing?
I mean, I think just going forward, like, I don't really know. So I think I'm a kind of advocate for maybe a change in the starting lineup, but it might not be for who you're thinking.
Far away.
I'm having an issue right now. My only issue with the lineup is Tobias Harris. I know. I mean, you brought him here and he's had a rough couple games. You're not going to take him out of the starting lineup. Like, I know that as a crazy Pistons fan, I'm like, I would love to see it, but, I would like to know if there's something like maybe he's injured. I don't really know, like, if he is just struggling finding his place on this team still, because that was kind of what the story was early in the season. It was like he's just trying to figure out where he fits on the team, and I don't know, maybe he brings some more offense to a second unit. I'm not really sure, but it just seems like right now there are long stretches where he's just not on the floor, and during those stretches they play pretty well, and when he comes back on the floor, it's like you have to slow the game down for him because he really makes a lot of his game is mid-low post. And so the game slows down, has to go through him. Not a great defender. Like he'll do you get rebounds and stuff, but I think that's kind of my only thing. And again, like, not trying to trash the man, obviously, like, he decided he wanted to sign with Detroit. I'm not going to, I don't know. It's just a tough situation.
No, it's a very fair assessment. Everything you're saying is true. Yeah.
Asar coming back, like, as he's getting his legs under him, like, does he try to take that spot? Because, I mean, he can bring, more like pace and rebounding and defense, but you don't have the same shooting. But, I mean, what is Tobias shooting this year? Like, is it back up to 38% or something?
I think his 3-point percentage did sneak back up, but I think it's more about when you're watching it, it just feels like so often he doesn't hit the key ones.
Yeah.
He's a bit better there, like, for a little stretch, but it's gone back to just really being a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think you're right to point that out. I think a lot of the fan base would agree with you. It's just, I think, and you weren't saying this, but I think we all know, like, that contract, it's kind of hard to bench him. But I agree with you. It is when he's not hitting threes, like catch and shoot threes, the only other way to get him kind of shots is those mid posts. And he did make a really key one tonight, I thought, and drew some free throws. But it's more about what you said. It just slows everything down for something that's not the most efficient shot to start with. Yeah. Particularly for a guy, like you said, who's kind of struggles on defense. Like, if he was, this is a bad example, but say there's a guy like Ben Wallace, who on defense was just absolutely everything to your team, then, like, sure, it's fine to give him a possession and reward him. But yeah, so I think your assessment's honestly spot on and like respectful. Like I think it's
I mean,
a lot of fans would agree with you.
yeah, and again, like obviously that was kind of their biggest free agent signing. You have to overpay a guy like Tobias Harris to even come to Detroit, but I guess it's tough because you don't want to get into the realm of like signing people and if they're not contributing what you expected them to. I mean, because like I wasn't expecting him to come in and give 20 a night, but I was expecting more than. I mean, what is he giving right now?
Theo 99 had us in the comments here.
13. I was expecting 16 at least. I mean, like, I don't know. It's not far off, like 14, but it just seems like in the games it's so much harder for him to get those 14. And I don't know. Like, I'm not a Tobias hater at all, but I think that when you see those slow start games like the Utah game, like those are the kind of games where I think it really shines. And a game like today where he gives you 10 points, like you don't really see it as much, but when they have those bad starts, I think it really is like, okay, it's like,
this is
something
where we need you.
Change.
So I think, like in these games, you don't notice it. And I think maybe like, I mean, early in the season, I thought like he was struggling maybe to find a role because Ivey took a scoring lead. But now it's been like, even as Ivey's kind of not regressed, but come more back to the mean, Malik Beasley's just completely like taken over that role as the second or third scorer on any given night. So it's just another kind of step down the pecking order for Tobias. But when the other young guys are struggling, like you said in that Utah game, they're the games where you want him to come out and have a 10-point first quarter. But I think a lot of fans would agree with you in that change. And did you say you think, ideally that's a SARS spot?
I would say so. I know that doesn't bode well. That's kind of almost like when they would do their 2-center lineup, just because his shooting is still kind of struggling. But I don't know. I think just the defense and rebounding and energy that he brings, it has to at least try. You have to at least try it. But again, you don't want to make. I don't know. It's tough. That's a tough situation because of the contract, I think. So.
No, I think a lot of fans would agree with you. All right, man. Anything else before I let you go? Can I just ask, why didn't you make it to the game tonight?
I thought we were gonna go. My girlfriend ended up having to work, and just didn't work out. So would have liked to, definitely would have liked to, but just it wasn't in the cards. So.
I've forgotten. You've told me, but how long have you been in Phoenix for, Arizona?
Almost a year now. Moved out here for work, so
got you.
Yeah, but I know you're gonna let the people know, but whenever you're trying to get to Detroit, like I might try to come out there to see it. So
it's I will confirm it 100%, but right now it's looking like end of January, start of February. But
cool.
I'll wait until it's confirmed. I've just got to. This time of the year with like holidays, Christmas, and everything, it's just. I think I could have got there earlier by the sounds of things, but there's just a lot of other stuff on the next couple of weeks. So, I will let everyone know when I'm coming with the actual dates because I want to meet like all of you, like every single one of you.
The game will sell out because Jack's in town.
No way. No. I just, man, it's gonna be incredible. It still hasn't hit me, honestly. Like,
no, it's very very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. But man, I hope you're there. But even if you're not, for some reason, just getting to do this with you has been absolutely awesome. Everyone in the comments loves you as well. Your insights are awesome, bro. So, appreciate you jumping on as always.
Yeah, appreciate you having me as always too. So,
all right, man.
Go Pistons.
Enjoy the win. Let's go.
I will. Yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Bye. All right, so I had someone reach out to me. Jason reached out to me. He was at the game tonight. He said he's a Cade fan, but he's wearing a Phoenix jersey in his profile picture. But I've just dropped him a link. And Cody messaged me as well. I saw someone in here. Hang on, I'll bring up. So YouTube user. Oh, yes, I agree with this. There was another comment though. Cody does deserve nice things for Christmas. No, so Cody DM'd me on Twitter and he said, Jack, I just want 4 seconds to admit I was wrong. So I'm hoping he hasn't gone out or gone to have dinner and can jump on because he said he just wants some time to defend himself. So no, I hope we can get him up. But thank you so much for all the comments, guys. YouTube user, did Jack forget? Yeah, sorry, I was a bit late on the stream. It's just been a bit of a crazy day, and I was trying to just trying to sort out my thoughts and a lot of things that have been going on. So thank you for waiting around for me, particularly after a late game like this. I think I saw someone ask what time it is in Australia. They're 99. So right now it is 4:36 in the afternoon. So it's a Sunday here though, so I'm like 16 hours ahead, I think, something like that. So, White guy next door, congrats, Jack. Glad you finally have a chance to come and see what Detroit is really like. Yeah, honestly, guys, like I just said, I can't believe it's actually going to happen. I've always known I'll get there at some point, and I was very, very hopeful it was going to happen this season. But yeah, the past few days have been absolutely crazy. So yeah, I know sometimes people from the Pistons social and some of the staff watch this stream. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. I've spoken to a lot of you individually, but thank you to them. And thank you to all you guys for tuning in and just being a part of this journey. And I don't know, just your comments and just all the DMs, like not even about today, just for the past 3 years or since I've been doing this, like I definitely don't get this kind of opportunity at all if it's not for you guys helping me out. So I appreciate all of you. And like I said, as soon as I get these dates, I'm going to be there. I will be letting everyone know so I can meet as many of you as possible when I'm in Detroit. But back to the game, Theo, for once the Pistons had less turnovers than their opponent. They did, and I'm not going to lie. Did anyone else feel like the referees were kind of on the Pistons side a little bit tonight? I thought the Pistons got some lucky calls, which I'm not used to. But it was nice. It took SGA some time, and look at him now. I agree, YouTube user. He definitely, he started to thrive under Chris Paul. I think that was his first season in OKC. And yeah, I think that's a good kind of comp for Cade, for the peak version of Cade. Although I think Cade a little bit more of a different player in the sense of like Cade's a much better 3-point shooter. But in terms of what they can do in the mid range, pretty similar. SJ's footwork's just incredible with like his pump fakes and pivots in the paint. But in terms of like a player that doesn't rely on athleticism and is an elite scoring bigger guard, like SGA is some like kind of an archetype for Cade to be compared to. JB is such a good change after who shall not be named. Yes, he is. Even with some of the things like I've seen a lot of fans recently question the starting lineup, and that's very fair enough. But I feel like JB, these coaches' challenges, like I wish if someone in here knows where a stat is kept for those, if JB has to be at the top of the league. His conversion rate feels like 80% on these challenges. Like it's crazy. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate you, brother. Congrats, big Jackie boy, on the free flights and page success, you big cheeky. Love it. Love it. If you're free, Alan, come jump up here and have a chat with me. We haven't spoken in a while. I'd love to get you up. Beasley should not be traded. Yeah, I agree. It's just something that's being floated around because of how good he's playing, and you probably could get something decent back, but I don't think they should. YouTube user, you probably heard, but we did speak extensively on Ivey. Awesome return game from him, and I hope he can continue this because he's feeling fully healthy. Because yeah, like I said, it sounds like he had some real knee soreness and an issue with his toe, which obviously could affect him and his speed and the way he attacks the rim. So yeah, couldn't agree more. I hope that's something he can. I'm not going to expect 4 offensive boards from him every night, but I know Nurkic is a bit of a plodding center, so it's a bit easy to get those offensive boards, and even for JD to roll and dunk. But I really want to see Ivey going for those offensive rebounds because it really it was huge in that first quarter. And he had that hustle play along the baseline in the first quarter as well, where he kind of stole the rebound and then passed it to JD for the dunk. So if he can bring that energy every night, even if he's not shooting 50% and knocking down 4 threes, it's still going to help this team win. So yeah, that was good to see for sure. Ankle injury scary too. I assume that's about Ivy, Mark. For anyone that missed it, he said in his post-game interview on the court that his ankle is completely fine. He just had to come out. So that's good. I'm sure it might be sore, but yeah, he should be fine. Sean, 8 likes, splits that like button. Let's keep this post-game train rolling. Yes, please. If you haven't already, if you could please like, subscribe, all of that helps so much. And honestly, guys, all I'll say is I'm pretty excited for some of the stuff that's going to be upcoming for Pistons Jack and this channel and the content specifically on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please jump on board because I truly do expect to have some really great and potentially exclusive content coming here. So appreciate everyone who's always in here. But if you're new and haven't checked out the channel before, if you could show any support, I would greatly appreciate it. But as I always say, if not, thank you for just watching. Yeah, we gave Tech a shout out, Alan. I thought he was key. Hit some really key threes to kind of keep it in that double-digit range as the Suns kept trying to come back. And nice to see him have a game like that. Yes, Corey. Yes. So we didn't mention this. I did tweet it out, but there was MVP chance for Cade when he was knocking down those last 2 free throws towards right at the end of the game, which I haven't heard before. I haven't heard that before. So on the road for Cade, I've heard them obviously at LCA, but I definitely haven't heard that. So that's the first time. So great shout out from you, Corey. I'm just going to check. Maybe he's not coming on. Maybe I didn't get to him quick enough. So that's my bad. I'm just going to quickly check Instagram DMs, see if anyone wants to pop up here. Oh, yes, Alan, let's go. I'll jump on, but just on my phone. Yes, let's go, Alan. Getting you a link now. And it's completely fine. You're on your phone. You can come on your phone. As long as you have connection to an internet and a camera, you are good to come up. I've just dropped you a link, Alan, so we will get you up here in a moment. What else we got in here? Wow. White guy next door, Pistons next, Nuggies. You guys, YouTube user, Theo99, you are all in here every single stream. It's unreal. I appreciate your support so much. You don't know how much it actually means to me to have you in here just commenting and keeping the chat going because it helps the stream. And yeah, just seeing you even have some inside jokes here is hilarious. So appreciate you all. Yeah, Jo was close to triple double. That would have been really cool. I don't know if I don't think he's had a triple double in the NBA. So that would have been awesome. Love you as well, white guy. I love all of you, honestly. I don't know if any of you are in Detroit. Sorry if I missed it in the comments, but guys, even if you can't get to a game, I think one thing I'm going to try and do is organize some sort of meetup because, yeah, we everyone needs to link up, not just for me to meet you guys, for all of you to meet one another because I think the Pistons community is a really good community. So passionate. That's what I love the most. When we had Cody up here last stream, you might disagree with his take on Cade, but you can't deny his passion. That's the thing I love. As long as we're being respectful, I don't care what you say because the passion is the thing I love the most about all of us. Because we've been through it. Pistons next. Sean bullied me to press the like button. Appreciate you, bro. Come on, Alan. Is your phone broken, brother? You're in the comments here, but I can't see you coming up for this stream. Oh, you should use as a question here. I'm realistic, but if you could get 2 firsts for Beasley, would you? Oh, I mean, you'd be crazy not to, but like, man, like, I think, yeah, you do, but I say that like knowing that it just won't happen. I know you're saying that as well, but like, I think you have to, wouldn't you? 2 firsts, like, I know Beasley, like, that's the type of deal it would take. Like, I don't even think I'd do it for 1 first. Like, maybe if it was like a top 10, like, yes, but yeah, it's just the stuff he brings off court, and like you hear stuff about him, like just behind closed doors, like how huge his impact has been. Like, it's just talking to some people, he's massive for this team's culture and turnaround. So I would be extremely hesitant to move him, because of what he brings for the team morale and leadership and vibes and keeping everyone uplifted. Um, it's real. That's a real thing with him. And as Corey says here, Beasley truly has helped Cade in so many ways. His leadership has been so great for the young guys, and he seems to love Detroit. He's the type of guy in the roster. Couldn't have said it better myself. I saw another question here from a guy next door. Alex Valentine. Love the support from the D-Jacks. So cool to see the damn Detroit Pistons have international fans. Well, yeah, shout out to the Pistons. Like, I was lucky enough to get a jersey, but like they absolutely knocked it out of the park with this World Basketball Day thing. Like, everywhere I look on Twitter, Instagram, it's just people reposting like World Basketball Day stuff. Like, I don't think I saw anything else from another team. Like, I know they did stuff, but just the way the Pistons, the amount of content they had out, sending jerseys, like I feel like every country had a jersey. Like, it was crazy that carousel they put up on Instagram. Like, they really connected with like every country. It was insane. So, and I can only speak for Australian fans, but like there's so many of us down here in Australia. Like, the amount of times I get messages that say, "Wow, Jack, I thought I was the only Australian fan." That's probably been the most common DM I've got since doing this in the past 3 months. Is people just thinking they're alone in Australia. Like, but there is a lot of Pistons fans down here. They've just been waiting for a team to really get behind, and it's cool that we're getting that. Oh, we've got Alan here, fresh on holiday. What's going on,
buddy.
man?
Yeah,
Here he
good, man.
is.
Can you hear me all good?
Absolutely, it's perfect.
Awesome, man. I tell you what, just today it's been a good day. A lot of good things have happened, but this was the cherry on top, bro.
How good is it? Yeah, insane.
And congratulations, by the way. Big congratulations to you, man. It's so good to see it happen, and so soon as well, bro.
No, mate, you appreciate that so much. Like, and honestly, like, just having yourself on these streams, like, bro, it's been so, like, this is why I do it. Like, honestly, like, yes, I love the team and this opportunity is incredible, but the reason I decided to do this full time and why I love this so much is just getting to have these chats with you, Austin, Corey, like, Cody. Sorry, all right, Corey. What am I doing? That's bad. I think I just read out something from Corey, but mate, this is why I do it. It's like getting to connect with people like yourself. Like, bro, it's the absolute best. Like,
Absolutely,
talking
bro.
to you guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it's been a wicked ride so far.
It's been awesome. And I agree with you. Cherry on top. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite games of the year. I want to hear your thoughts.
Dude, start to finish. I mean, there was a point at the very end there, and I thought Ivey played phenomenal. I think like you could see he was so eager to get back to playing, and I mean those threes are just looking so refined. His defense was good, but it was more the moments at the end of the game where, of course, there's more nerves involved. There's a little bit more on the line, and having Cade out for that little bit there where we the lead got closed a little bit. When we had Ivey as the ball handler, he'll get there, and but And he had, again, an amazing game. But there was a point there at the end I was like, get Cade back in, please, and then, of course, he came back in, back up 10, 11 points. And my nerves were eased a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah, Cade, I feel like I'm going to have to go back and watch it because there's so much happening in those last 5 minutes or so. But
Yeah.
just to see him ice the game with that 3 over KD, like all-star. That's a genuine, like, I screen Cade all-star all the time, but like that's an all-star move.
Absolutely. And I hope everyone's done their votes in the chat, man. I hope everyone has gone and voted already. If you haven't,
definitely. And I think I saw the Pistons say today you get the votes count for 3 or something like that. So if you haven't, go vote. We need this all-star. He deserves it.
If he doesn't get it, it's
crazy.
a robbery. It's an absolute robbery. If he doesn't get it, because he deserves it more so than most of the players that I'm watching this season. Just the amount of triple doubles, the double doubles. He's having a record year for triple doubles.
I think I'm not actually sure. I know he's third in the NBA, but in terms of the Pistons, I think Grant Hill still had like 17 in a season or something. But he could could get there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
Someone will know in the chat. So I sort of bring this up from Theo. Where's my mouse? It's like listening to 2 Crocodile Dundees. It's so good. But that's what I love. That's what I love about this show as well. Like getting 2 Australians on here talking about Pistons. Like absolutely love my friends in the US about like, bro, like how many NBA type streams or content creator things you have 2 Aussies up here, like talking about the Pistons as well. It's special.
Very rare. Very rare.
It's the best. But I kind of cut you off there, but like the triple doubles are crazy. Like some of the defensive stuff, like I tweeted it out and I was being a bit like over the top, but every chase down block he has, like attempt in transition, I feel like he's just getting it. Like he's just gonna block it or they're gonna miss. It's like LeBron like. It's Yeah,
and he's just very sneaky the way he will like go off his man to cover from and get that block from behind, even on those bigs. Like he's just so aware in offense, defense. His awareness is, it's elite. And like you do see so much of prime Grant Hill and Cade, and I think Cade's going to surpass him.
Yeah.
Well, especially with. I hope that Cade, stays out of the injury zone, which was a bit scary today because I think he bumped his knee on an offensive possession. Can't remember what happened there, but I was a little bit worried for a second, and it seemed like it was all right after.
Yeah, no, I think he got fouled and came down and kind of held his knee. But I think he was right. I honestly haven't watched any of the Grant Hill era, but like I know he was very like a special individual player with those Pistons teams. So you're right though. Like they are lots of similarities
for sure.
Like different players, but like plenty of similarities. I want to ask you about. Well, actually, no. Who do you want to talk about? Have you got some love for B-Ball Paul?
Yeah, man. And I love that you shouted me out, dude. I was like, I was with my family. I was like, you just shouted me out for B-Ball Paul. They're like, what are you talking about?
Can I just say that when he got waived, you were like the first person I thought of.
Right. I was depressed for a day or so there, and I was like, Javonte McCoy, what are they doing? Because I watched the Motor City Cruise, and this, they've just signed this bench player off them, and I was like, what are we doing? But the move was smart, and I loved it in the end. It made sense.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And he's getting the run now. I know it's obviously sad that your boy Stu's out, and I think he won't be out for too long. But it's good to see the run because Reed's motor and his aggression, his tenacity is something that is Detroit style. He suits the team in the way he plays. And like he had a beautiful block today off that board, and I just was like out of my seat. And and he just has good court vision as well. And he finds players. I like that he's getting more of a run. I hope that he continues to get a bit more minutes instead of do not plays or whatever. But he's that little bit undersized, and the shot the mid range is fine. The 3-point it looks a bit quirky, but I just love his motor and I love his aggression. I hope to see him on Detroit for a while. I hope he doesn't get traded, to be honest, but you just never know.
No, you don't know, but like, yeah, his energy's like contagious. I love watching him play. Like even against the Jazz, I know that game sucked overall, but he was
Yeah,
awesome. Like I think he
for
got that
sure.
reverse layup, and then he was like up in Clarkson's grill or whoever. Like,
Yeah,
but apart from that, like even that Jazz game, I thought he was awesome.
yeah,
In what was a disappointing game, but yeah, I think he's only had like one bad stretch I can recall. Every other game he's played, like he always makes an impact. So as a
yeah,
third big, like it's kind of a bit of a luxury to have because the thing
for
is, like
sure.
Stu's pretty injury prone.
Yeah,
Obviously he's out now, but the past 2 seasons, like he's been very injury prone. So um,
yeah,
there's definitely going to be minutes there for B-ball Paul. Um,
yeah,
I do I'm with you, and like it'd be nice to get him some more minutes, but I just feel like it's a bit hard to play all three. But
for sure, for
um,
sure.
but like yeah. Whenever he does something good, you're the first person I think of. Because I remember from day one, first stream against the Pacers is a loss, but you were asking for B-ball Paul. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
associate
and,
you with him. Him and Cole Swider.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And look, when I saw Javonte McCoy, I was like, "What about Cole Swider?" Like, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Any other thoughts on the game, man? I feel like I've said everything, but
Yeah, I mean,
I want to hear
you
your
spoke
thoughts.
about a lot, but I loved what Tech did tonight, and because I feel like
Yep,
Tech's been
great
quiet,
chat.
relatively recent, and just to see him, I found that like I was saying to some guys from Detroit, we got a little group chat, and I was saying to them, what's happened to Tech's kind of defense because it fell off a little bit in a couple of those games. I felt like the effort, he didn't look happy being in Detroit, but what a change! I mean, the last couple games I just seen him come alive, and today especially, I was like, oh man, it was so nice to see because he really is a good player, and I think it's just the way he's being used, and he got those vital 3-pointers that we needed in moments, and I just saw his defensive effort was way better than what we've been seeing of recent.
Yep,
Um, but I like Tech, and for the deal that what we got for him, we was a big W, and
yeah,
he's definitely added a lot of energy to this roster on both
definitely.
ends.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. Hit some real key shots tonight as well, I thought. But speaking of energy, I haven't had you on for a while, so I'm really keen just to get your thoughts on Asar and Ron Holland. I don't think
Mm,
we've spoken about Asar really, you and
no,
I, too much, like since he's been back. So thoughts on those two, I guess just overall and a bit in tonight's game.
I feel like Asar, I mean, he's back in his groove. He was, those first couple games, he was missing some really kind of bad layups and things like that. And I wasn't too worried, but I was like, oof, it was kind of scary. The defense was kind of still there, but he's back in his groove. Ron Holland's energy is just, I mean, when he comes on the court, it's contagious. It affects everyone. Everyone picks up the energy. Um, just based on an energy guy, like having Ron on that court is just crucial. And when that shot starts to fall, I mean, he's going to be an integral part of this team. And as the same with Asar, but Asar's got a long way with his shot to go still. Um,
Yeah.
I think he's a couple of seasons off having a good shot, to be honest. It doesn't look good still. And but Ron, it's there. The release is fine. And even I was listening today with the Phoenix commentary, and they were giving him praise. They were comparing Paul Reed's release to Ron Holland's, and they were like, well, Ron Holland's is there,
Yeah.
and it's just an adjustment. And we've got the right personnel in terms of coaching staff to make that adjustment, especially this season under JB. So I expect and he has been hitting more threes. He's just not been taking that many, but he has been putting some in. And I expect him to become that the same kind of thing as I'm having a blank here with the guy for the
Yeah.
Pelicans that we wouldn't mind having.
Herb Jones,
Herb
Trey
Jones.
Murphy.
I feel like Herb Jones. Yeah, I feel like he's going in the direction of Herb Jones, and especially if he can just get a consistent shot from that corner where he's normally open and the teams are giving him space. once he gets that consistent, I think he's going to be such a danger.
Yeah.
Because he already brings it. I mean, that hustle on those loose balls where he's fighting and he's getting fouled so badly on those loose ball possessions, and he's just like still doesn't give up. And he's just been so integral. I can't wait to see his development because I don't see him going anywhere or being involved in any trades. But the next couple of seasons, I think we're going to see a big jump in Ron Holland.
Yeah, I agree. He's playing the last, I want to say, 3 weeks to a month. Like, he's definitely hitting more threes, like you said, but you're just seeing his decision making is so much more in control. He's still going to have a turnover or two because it's kind of how he plays. But looks like we've lost Alan. I'll see if he can come back. But no, Ron's been huge. Like he's really getting better. The box score might not show it, but the extra passes, the hustle on defense. Oh wait, we'll get Alan back up here.
Sorry, man, no idea what happened there.
No, you're good. I was just talking about Ron, but I agree with you. He's going to be one to watch in the next few seasons. Like, it's so nice to have. We've said this about Asar before, but just to now have like 2 wings who, yes, they can't really shoot it, but are athletic, make plays, get steals, blocks, just generate like transition opportunities, like, and just annoy the hell out of the other team's players. Like, it's so good to see.
And I love that he was ready for a little fisticuff. The last game was
the Jazz
with Clarkson. Like just backing his boy Reed. Like Reed, after there was that reverse, and then just Ron Holland's there to back him. And I actually like when the two of them are on the court together. I like that lineup actually. Can't remember who it was, but it was Ron, Reed, maybe Tech Beasley, and Cade. Maybe. That was nice. It was working because the defense was just so tight. And then Beasley, I mean, we don't need to even say anything about him. He's just been so consistent and just so perfect for what this team needed.
Oh, like couldn't have said it better myself. Like just a perfect fit in every like on the court, off the court, like anything. Like it's just perfect. It really is.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question actually. Because we've now freed up, was it 7 million in cap space?
Yes. You mean?
So I know I'm not.
So they had like 11. Now they got 14 right now.
3 million. Sorry.
Yeah. You're good.
So I know that we're not. I mean, I'm not. I think it's Sean. I'm not good with like cap space and stuff like that. Yeah. But do you think with that spot we're going to just kind of take on some some extra, like just someone who's just trying to get rid of a player, dump a player, and we just take someone like that and not make really any trades or any changes because of our trajectory at the moment?
If I have no idea, but if I had to say, based off what Trajan said, I think you're right. Like, I think he's either going to be a third team in a trade to help facilitate a deal for like Zach LaVine or something, and the Pistons will take on the contract and get like a first round pick or 3 seconds. I think that's the most likely thing. Or they're going to be just trade with one other team and take on a contract to get picks. Because Trajan has said the whole time, like, we need to acquire assets. Like, that's his goal. And he still hasn't really done that. The only time he did that was with the THJ trade. He got 3 seconds with Tim Hardaway Jr. from the Mavs for Grimes. So that's just, if I had to bet on it, that's what I think. But honestly, like, because I kind of think the plan's going perfectly for him. Team has a couple of clear weaknesses that's going to lose them games, but he's still put a team around these young guys to help them. Like, obviously, Cade, main priority, like, looks like an all-star, tick.
Yeah.
You're seeing Jaden Ivey with the spacing, like, when he's healthy, look way better. Even with Asar and Ron, like, they have more spacing to do their thing. So I think it's kind of all going to plan for him. And I think last offseason was so rushed that maybe he just wants to get to this next offseason and really plan it properly instead of like almost potentially rushing something around the trade deadline. But that's on it. They're just my thoughts. Could be completely
I agree.
wrong.
I think you're right because Langdon even said, look, don't expect us to be a contender, but we're looking at the play-in right now. That's where we're looking. So everything is, like you said, gone to plan for Trajan. And I think he's just going to maybe keep a hold of the cap, see, what's going to be the best move. Look, I mean, if we were to go get Levine, I would be stoked because he's looking amazing right now, and he just would fit so nicely with Cade, man.
Oh, couldn't agree more. Like, it's so like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, if they trade for Levine or when I had my guy Kyle Metz on here the other day, we spoke about like getting Michael Porter Jr. as that third team. If the Nuggets got Levine, like that'd be pretty fun as well. Because I'm open to upgrading this roster. I know those guys have
Sure.
injury issues, but I think I want to shout out Kuka Hill, who I'm sure everyone listens to Locked On Pistons. Like, this is how the Pistons get these type of playoff starter level guys, is when their value's a bit lower because of injury history. Like, Pistons aren't probably going to get one of these guys just like they don't have the assets too. They can't trade first round picks. So yeah, I would love it, but I also see the vision of like, keeping, as Arthur says here, is rightfully points out. If I can get it up. Oh, wrong comment. But Arthur says, don't want to get too good and we'll lose the draft pick.
Yeah.
So they need to finish in the bottom 14 to keep that first. I could see Trajan being like, sweet, we're going to get another top 10 pick this year. Hopefully draft lottery. We get pick 5, get another blue chip prospect potentially, and then let's make moves. So
I love that. Yeah, I agree with Arthur.
But I'm with you. If Levine was on this team at the trade deadline, that'd be fun too.
For sure. It's all exciting whichever way it goes. But I mean, I agree with Arthur that this draft class is nice. Like, so, I mean, if we get any pick in that top 10, we're going to get someone pretty good. So, and look, I think just personally, this team's doing way better than I thought they would. And I was very negative at this, at the end of last season. So I didn't expect. I mean, what's that, a 12th win? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was what, March? We got
12
or something like that?
Yeah, we brought it up for someone said it in the chat. Sorry, I forgot. I think it was Theo. It was in March. They got their 12th win.
That's crazy, man.
That's insane.
What a different team.
Look, we'll never. It's going to be hard to forget last season's team for a little bit, but this team is like, can't even compare the two. Like, like night and day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There was a comment. Someone said you should change because you just said you're negative last season. I can't find it. Someone said you should change your name to Pistons Make Me Smile.
You know what? I might. No, you know what? I will. Especially if we get the play in, it's guaranteed, man. I'll do
it. Please. But yeah, like you said, it's nice to be in a position where, I'm sure people want this team to go in a certain direction, but I think you and I can see either way being happy with like trading for someone at the trade deadline or waiting till the off season and drafting. Like, to be in a position where both those pathways make real sense and it's not like a desperation move, I think is so nice.
For sure. I mean, and it's, what's funny is just if we had like the Utah game the other day, I know we'll try to forget it, but if we had just done better in that first quarter, we would have won that game in terms of the momentum that we gained at the end. And there's actually a couple games that I'm just like, we could have almost a even record right now, if not positive, just with these just silly games. But no, I agree with Arthur. Let's keep a couple losses because I want a nice draft pick too at the end of the day. And I think the value that we can build on some of these vets, can only get better, especially as the season gets on and, we just get more gel from the team. Like THJ, just in that other game in that fourth quarter and the way he ended at the clutch, he put his value up,
Yeah. I don't know if that got enough credit for how crazy that was.
No, dude, that was insane.
Bro, they were dead. Like, they were not winning that. And then he's just goes on a personal 9-0 run. Like, what?
That's Tracy McGrady type stuff.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was like, what, 3 threes in like, probably was like 40 seconds of game time, but like, it was insane. Like, he was good again tonight. So he's finding some form again, which is this team does need. Anything else, my brother?
Just one other thing, I just I get it. We had Ivey come back, so you don't need to play Sasa. but I kind of like what I'm seeing from him, and I hope he can find a role because I just for somehow see him going to another team right now, and
Yeah.
but I just love his game so much, and he's just a scorer, and he's if you give him space, he's scoring, and yeah, well, let's just see, but obviously I think they wanted to give Ivey more of a run tonight coming back in, but I'm hoping to see more from Sasa as the season goes on because I think his role's not defined yet.
Yeah.
The team hasn't defined him a role, so he's kind of lost in translation, which is kind of sad because it was the same for him last season too, right?
Yeah.
So
I love his
hopefully we
game.
can establish something. Yeah, I mean he's a pretty good backup point guard with the ball handling, but he's very what do you call it, tunnel vision, and he
Yeah.
wants to score when he's got that ball. So I guess he makes it a bit hard for himself, but hopefully we can get him just at the two, and he can play that role. If that suits better going
Yeah, I
forward.
think I yeah, I love watching him play. Like his handle, step back, side steps, like the amount of space he gets with his step backs ridiculous. Hits his
100.
open threes, pull up, he great floater. Such a good release valve for this team when they're struggling to score. But it is tough to fit him into the lineup. But what I've loved from him is like he doesn't have that clearly defined role on a consistent basis,
Yeah,
but his role is to kind of come in and when they need it and give you 8 to 10 points efficiently. And he's pretty much done that every game. Like
for
every time he
sure.
plays, like similar to B-Ball Paul, like it's a good thing that we're sitting here being like, I wish there was more minutes for them or, um, because when they come in, you just go, well, this guy should be playing more, but you kind of zoom out a little bit and you're like, well, you can't play 13 guys.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's fun and like he's always ready. And I just have visions of like him. I don't know if he's on the team, but like when they drafted him, I was like, that's a guy that in a playoff game scores 30 out of nowhere off the bench, microwave,
And
like
yeah,
wins you a playoff game. So like I feel that with him, but who knows if he's going to be on
agreed.
the roster just because of the way it's built right now, but
Mm.
it's a great shout from you for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if him and I definitely know Moore's not going to be on this team for very long, and yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. I mean, like injuries happen, and we do as a team find them later on in the season. So hopefully not, but it'd be interesting. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
But apart from that, Jack, thanks for having me on, man. You didn't
Of
even
course,
need to
brother.
do that, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
Mate, as I say to you every time, you are welcome every stream. So if I know you're
I
in here, just
appreciate it.
message me. I'll get you up. Half the time, guy, I don't even have this is for you and anyone else. Like at the start of the season, I was a bit more organized with making sure I had someone to open, but recently I've struggled to organize it. So if you want to come up like the day of, I normally don't have someone organized. So after the game,
Yep.
literally just shoot me a DM. Yeah, we'll go for as long as you guys want. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
appreciate you
Well, I
joining, man.
mean, yeah, I mean, it's. I always, I tell you what, when you and Cody started, man, I'm always laughing. It's you got it just the two energies are amazing. Like he's a good laugh, Cody. Respect, Cody.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this,
I know Cody's a legend. Like I was saying
he's
before,
so honest.
he's so honest, and like some people might perceive him as negative, but I just think he's
Mm,
passionate. Like, and because a lot of
I
what
love
he
it
says is like true to like. I think there's always lots of facts behind what he says. That he's passionate,
for
man.
sure.
That's the best
For
thing about
sure.
this, though, is like, yeah, I just love everyone's passion. It's crazy. So everyone on
Yeah,
this stream and in the comments, like, we are the most passionate Pistons fans. Like, we
100%.
truly are, bro. So it's the
Yeah,
best.
no, and it's good to be part of it. And I just couldn't, like from last season, just seeing the community, and man, you got in on the right time. Just the community, how it's flourishing this season is such a beautiful thing to see. And
Yeah.
again, just to say, it's so good to have an Australian as,
Yeah.
someone who's integral in the Detroit community because, yeah, we're out there, we exist, and we're pretty passionate about it.
100%, man. No, like, and I know you're in Melbourne as well. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I got sometime in the near future, we're going to get some sort of watch party together with all of us there to watch a
100%.
game, or whether we're watching the draft, so, like just something, man. Because there's so many Australian Pistons fans. It's crazy.
Bro, let me know. I'll take the day off work. You make it happen.
I will. It's something I definitely want to do this season. So we're going to do it.
Keen
All
as.
right, brother. Thank you for jumping on. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I'm in a place. You know Mount Buller, don't you?
Yeah, of course. I've never been to the
Yeah,
snow. So Detroit's going to be
yeah,
interesting, but I know where Buller is.
yeah. So just with family up there.
How good, mate. Well, you enjoy
Yeah,
that. If I don't speak to you, have a Merry Christmas, and yeah, can't wait to get you on the stream ASAP.
likewise, bro. And yeah, I'll be in the comments. And Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that. And on to more wins, eh?
Let's do it. All right, we'll talk soon, man.
All right,
Thank
brother.
you.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Catch ya. Yeah.
What a legend. I saw someone in here. This one made me laugh. Jack, you can't play 13 guys. And as soon as I saw this pop up, I immediately knew what was coming after. Monty, hold my beer. Oh dear. That's very good. Great. Great use of the comment system. Wow. I don't think, man, I was really hoping Cody was going to get up here to defend himself, but he probably didn't want to wait. So that's very fair enough. And I don't think Jason's going to join us, unfortunately. But I think we might be ready to wrap up here, guys. Actually, there's some good stuff in here. Pistons are 1-0 since inviting Jack Kelly to the Motor City. Love it, Joe B. Let's keep it up. I will say, I've said this before, but the one Pistons game I've been to was in Boston 2 years ago, and they beat Boston. They snapped the Celtics 10-game winning streak, and it was in Boston. Cade had like 20. It was a great game. So I do actually have a 1-0 record when I'm in the building. So hopefully we can keep that going whichever game I get to. Pistons next. Detroit need to invite Jack Kelly for every game. Hey, I'll take it. Jack gets the Detroit shout out, and all of a sudden we get international jerseys. Coincidence? I say not. No, I will say Pistons, their whole team has done like I said, it's not got nothing to do with me. They've done an amazing job at shouting out all us international Pistons fans. They've done an amazing job. This is the saddest part of every stream, but I now get to look forward to the next one. Well, look, guys, yeah, we'll definitely be back. I'm excited for this Lakers game. I want them to go in. Let's sweep the Lakers. Let's beat them. I can't remember the last time the Pistons won a game in LA, and especially against the Lakers. Love to just beat them on their home floor. So, yeah, we'll be back for streams. I think I'll be streaming every game. Like even when I'm away over the next couple of weeks, I'll be still streaming. Just might have a bit of a funny background behind me, but we're going to keep these rolling because can't be away from you guys for too long. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining. I think we had in over 40 people watching it all at once. So that's right up there with the most we've had. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in because I know for a lot of you this game's later. And just want to shout out. I'm in Sydney, but down for a Melbourne watch party. Yes. All right. This is going to keep me honest and that I get it organized. When I get back from Detroit, that is definitely something we're going to do. We're going to get a watch party together, and I might make some sort of group chat on Instagram to get us all in one thing to organize a date. But we're doing it. That'll be huge, and I know the team would absolutely love that. So yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate all of you, and yeah, all the support you've given me today, especially means so much to me. So thank you so much. We'll be back for the Lakers. As always, go Pistons.